traders, welcome to the TMT stock market strategy video for Monday, February 22nd. Well, we did get a little bit of a pause day the last couple of days. We did have 4 days straight up with gap ups in the morning at the opening. So it was normal, actually normal to kind of give it a couple of inside trading days. Well, in this morning, we were up pretty nicely in the pre-market, kind of rallied pretty hard overnight. YM, which is the Dow futures, up about 164 points right now. ES about 18 and a half. So that's always kind of a bummer when you have a big move in the pre-market. Now you have to wait to kind of things settle back down again. But nonetheless, I want to go over weekly charts, daily charts with you. Start off the week right. Right in front of me, we have a Spiders Weekly. And as you know, we talked about this 180, 180, 150, 182, if you will, has to be a critical level, which it is, and needs to hold. The 200-week moving average is right inside, coincides nicely with that. And if we were to break this, we would talk about 170, 160-ish area. You could see weekly charts are not bullish at all. That's why I'm specifically showing you weeklies. But the weekly charts are not bullish at all. Daily charts starting to come across some positive momentum, if you will. And I'm going to show that to you in a moment. But you could see here that what we have is lower lows and lower highs. Again, same thing with our indicator, our RSI. Right, RSI, lower lows and lower highs. And even if we were to tag this area here, I would suspect that we would to roll back down again. So we're still watching double bottom here, nicely held. So let's see if we get back to that 20-week moving average coming around 197. Remember, I mentioned before there's a lot of longs still trapped up in these areas, and I wanted to show them to you again. Here's a daily chart. Okay, right up in here, that 200 or 2,000 in the S&P, anywhere in that area, 1950-ish area, 195 is going to start. I believe that sellers would probably come back in and start to sell the market to try to get out of their long trades that they were stuck up in here back in February and March. December and January. But anyway, we looking at the lower lows and lower highs in our indicator. We finally did break back out, right? So now the key test is going to be this, right? You have this area here, and we're out of it. Let's see if we get back above it and we start to break higher. That'll be that bull flag test. And if that happens, then we should break nicely above the 50-day moving average. But again, you could see a lot of resistance here. This is a big area. This is going to be where the challenge comes in for the bulls, right in here. You could see that clearly. We failed, and then let's see now if we just look like a bull flag. But you could see that weekly chart and that spiders really doesn't look so great. I want to show you that 60-minute that I showed you last week. You can see clearly that we're into some really heavy resistance here. And now, if we hold these pre-market gains, we should pop out or into this area here. But we got to take it one step at a time. Let's closely monitor what's happening. But you could see here that we are starting to unwind some of that overbought, that grossly overbought reading, which is a good sign. Let me open this up a little bit more. And if anything, this could look like a real nice little bull flag, on a 60-minute chart. You could see that in here. Okay. Now, if we break back up and then we do one of these, then this is going to be a nice little spot for it to start to run, because we are unwinding that overbought reading, where now we're going to start getting some more price action back to the upside. But you could see here clearly, guys, this is a very heavy resistance. But if we break out of this, look at this area here. You can see this thin zone. Okay, this is a real thin zone. So this thin zone will just like how it worked on the downside, will probably run and bring price back up into this area here with that 2,000-ish. And then that's where I think that the sellers will come back out and start to sell this market. Okay, now, again, anything could happen, so let's just be on our toes. We're just looking at technical analysis here, telling us what could happen, and this is what we're looking at here. So this is why I say you've got some heavy resistance at these areas. Transports weekly, nothing really good about it. The weekly chart, we have a head and shoulders pattern measured to at 108.50. Didn't quite get there, but we did hold that 118. Okay, we have this bear flag that actually broke back up to the upside in that 200-week moving average, 200-week actually held right here. Okay, so let's see if this has more legs to get back above the neckline here. And if it could break back above this and start to hold, then we might have something a little bit bigger and better here that's happening in the transportation sector. All right. Now we mentioned oil I don't have any charts on oil, but you got to be careful with oil. I do think that that seasonal build comes in right around March and April, and also we also get seasonality strength in oil, and that's where I think really that market will bottom. So I do think we have probably few weeks, maybe 3 5 weeks of volatility to the downside, and then I think the market will start kind of basing a little bit and start to revert back to the upside. Okay, you can see here that thin zone exactly, and this is right. This is was a I was looking at maybe a possible bear flag, but this is too long in the tooth to be a bear flag. So I'm just going to call this a nice little uptrend channel. Just look at that right here. You can see that clearly. All right, and then let's see if we hold that 50-day moving average. We're above it now, which is a good sign. But again, guys, I do think that markets are trying to find its way. And when you look at these weeklies, they look just terrible. Again, another head and shoulders pattern measures to 89.22 on the Russell, which is Russell 2000, which is a secondary leader, good gauge of risk. And we're kind of way away from the 8-week and the 200 and the 20. Then a 50-week is way up here. So a lot of work to do yet on the Russell 2000. All right, the daily chart, we did get above the 20, but way away from that 50-day moving average. A lot of work yet to do here. Okay, support remains at 97.50 on that daily chart. Q's daily, again, resistance 102.70, big area of resistance. That next area will be 104.40, call it 104.20. That's the daily, 104.25, excuse me. That's that daily 50-day moving average. You can see here, lower lows, lower highs. The transports have yet to participate, as well as the banks and financials. We need to see them start to really participate and stabilize in crude oil and some of these oil stocks. And then I think we have something that we could probably challenge the highs, but not until then. I still treat the market as suspect to the upside. Okay? Hope it helps everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Take